What if I told you that right now, beneath the waves of every ocean on Earth, America is deploying a secret army that most people have never heard of? We're talking about $4 billion worth of unmanned underwater vehicles, robotic submarines that can operate for months without human contact, carrying enough firepower to sink entire fleets. While China builds aircraft carriers and Russia perfects hypersonic missiles, the US Navy is betting everything on these underwater ghosts. They're called UUVs, unmanned underwater vehicles, and they're about to change naval warfare forever. But here's what the Pentagon doesn't want you to know. This technology is so advanced, so classified, that even Congress doesn't know the full scope of what's lurking beneath the surface. Today, I'm exposing America's most secretive military program, an underwater army that makes nuclear submarines look like toys from the Stone Age. But first, let me show you why these robotic predators have every enemy navy on Earth losing sleep at night. The birth of the underwater army. Let me tell you the story of how we got here, because it perfectly captures the evolution from human-controlled to artificial intelligence warfare. Picture this. It's 1957, and a team of engineers at the University of Washington launches something called SPURV, the first unmanned underwater vehicle ever built. It was basically a torpedo with a camera, but it changed everything. Fast forward to today, and we're looking at DARPA's Manta Ray, a 45-foot wingspan underwater monster that looks like something from an alien invasion movie. This isn't just an upgrade from that 1957 prototype. It's a complete reimagining of what underwater warfare can be. The Manta Ray can hibernate on the ocean floor for months, wake up when it detects enemy activity, and operate at depths of over 4,000 meters, deeper than the Titanic wreck. It harvests energy from ocean thermal gradients, meaning it can theoretically stay underwater forever without ever needing to surface or return to base. But here's what makes this truly terrifying. The Manta Ray is just the beginning. Intelligence reports suggest the Navy is building an entire ecosystem of these underwater robots, each designed for different missions, all coordinated by artificial intelligence that can make life and death decisions faster than any human commander. And while America was perfecting this technology in secret, our enemies weren't sitting idle. The global underwater arms race. Here's where our story takes a dark turn that reads like a techno-thriller. While America was developing the Manta Ray, Russia was building something even more terrifying, the Poseidon, a nuclear-powered, nuclear-armed underwater drone that can travel over 10,000 kilometers and create radioactive tsunamis. Think about that for a moment. We're talking about an unmanned submarine that carries a nuclear warhead, can travel halfway around the world underwater, and is designed to destroy entire coastal cities with radioactive tidal waves. It's like something from a nightmare, except it's real, and Russia plans to deploy 30 of them by 2027. But China isn't being left behind in this underwater arms race. Their Heian Sea Eagle gliders are already patrolling the South China Sea, and intelligence suggests they're developing Manta Ray-shaped submarines that can operate in swarms. Imagine dozens of these things coordinating attacks without any human intervention. And here's what should terrify every naval strategist. Ukraine has already proven that cheap, expendable underwater drones can sink billion-dollar warships. Their Magura V5 drones have destroyed over 15 Russian vessels, including the first helicopter ever shot down by a naval drone. We're witnessing the democratization of naval warfare in real time. But the most shocking development isn't coming from our enemies. It's coming from our own military labs. The secret capabilities. Now let me reveal the classified capabilities that make America's UUV program the most advanced underwater force ever conceived. The Manta Ray isn't just a single vehicle. It's the flagship of what military planners call distributed lethality. Imagine a network of underwater robots that can coordinate attacks, share intelligence, and adapt to threats in real time. These aren't just remote-controlled submarines. We're talking about artificial intelligence that can identify enemy vessels, calculate attack patterns, and execute missions without any human input. The Navy's testing autonomous swarms that can hunt enemy submarines like underwater wolf packs, coordinating their attacks with precision that no human crew could match. But here's the capability that changes everything. These UUVs can deploy other drones. Picture this: a manta ray surfaces in enemy waters and launches aerial drones that can fly reconnaissance missions, then return and land on the submarine underwater. It's like having an aircraft carrier that's completely invisible to enemy forces. The modular payload bays can carry everything from surveillance equipment to special forces gear to weapon systems that are still classified. Intelligence sources suggest some variants can carry enough explosives to sink aircraft carriers, while others are designed for cyber warfare. Imagine a submarine that can hack enemy networks from underwater. And here's what keeps enemy admirals awake at night. These systems are designed to operate in swarms of hundreds or even thousands of units, coordinated by AI that can process battlefield information faster than any human mind. The $4 billion question. So why is America spending $4 billion on this underwater army? The answer reveals a fundamental shift in how the Pentagon thinks about naval warfare. Traditional submarines are incredibly expensive. A single Virginia-class sub costs over $3 billion and requires a crew of 135 highly trained sailors. But a Manta Ray costs a fraction of that and operates with zero human risk. You can deploy dozens of them for the price of one manned submarine, and if one gets destroyed, you haven't lost any lives, just hardware that can be replaced. The strategic implications are staggering. These UUVs can patrol choke points like the Strait of Hormuz or the South China Sea for months without detection. They can gather intelligence on enemy naval movements, map underwater terrain, and position themselves for attacks that could cripple entire fleets before anyone knows they're there. But here's the part that should concern every American taxpayer. Much of this $4 billion program is so classified that even congressional oversight committees don't know the full scope of what's being developed. We're essentially building an autonomous military force with minimal civilian oversight. And the timeline for deployment is accelerating faster than anyone expected. The deployment timeline. Here's where our story reaches its climax, with revelations that will change how you think about current global tensions. The Manta Ray completed its testing phase in 2024, which means operational deployment could begin as early as 2025. We're not talking about future technology, we're talking about weapon systems that could be patrolling enemy waters right now. Intelligence reports suggest the Navy is planning to deploy these systems in 3 phases. Phase 1, reconnaissance and surveillance missions in contested waters. Phase 2, defensive positioning around critical naval assets. Phase 3, offensive capabilities that remain classified, but could include everything from submarine hunting to infrastructure sabotage. But here's what should terrify our enemies. The production timeline is accelerating. While it takes years to build a traditional submarine, these UUVs can be manufactured in months using advanced 3D printing and modular assembly techniques. The Navy could theoretically deploy hundreds of them faster than any enemy could develop countermeasures. And here's the classified part that defense contractors don't want you to know. Some of these systems are designed to be expendable. They're built to complete one-way missions, carrying enough explosives or cyber warfare equipment to cripple enemy infrastructure before self-destructing to avoid capture. We're looking at the weaponization of artificial intelligence on a scale that makes science fiction look conservative. These aren't just unmanned vehicles. They're autonomous weapon systems that can make kill decisions without human intervention. The ethical dilemma. But this technological revolution raises questions that go far beyond military strategy. Are we comfortable with machines making life and death decisions in warfare? What happens when these autonomous systems encounter civilian vessels or neutral shipping? Who's responsible when an AI-controlled weapon makes the wrong choice? The Pentagon's answer is that these systems will operate under strict rules of engagement. But critics point out that artificial intelligence can be unpredictable, especially in complex combat situations. We're essentially deploying weapons that could start international incidents without any human decision-maker in the loop. And here's the question that keeps ethicists awake at night. Once we deploy fully autonomous weapons systems, how long before our enemies do the same? Are we starting an arms race that leads to wars fought entirely by machines, with humans as helpless bystanders? America's $4 billion underwater army represents the most significant evolution in naval warfare since the invention of the submarine. These aren't just weapons, they're the harbingers of a new era where artificial intelligence controls the battlefield and human soldiers become obsolete. But underwater drones are just the beginning of this technological revolution. The same black-budget programs funding these robotic submarines have been developing something even more extraordinary: aircraft that defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Speaking of classified military programs, next week I'm exposing the most secretive aircraft in American history, the TR-3B Black Manta, an anti-gravity spy plane that makes the SR-72 Blackbird look like a paper airplane. We're talking about triangular craft that can hover silently, accelerate to impossible speeds, and operate using propulsion technology that officially doesn't exist. If you want to understand how deep the rabbit hole of classified military technology really goes, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. The TR-3B Black Manta expose drops in the next 4 days. And trust me, what I'm going to reveal about anti-gravity propulsion and the military's most guarded secrets will completely shatter everything you thought you knew about aerospace technology. What do you think about America's secret underwater army? Are we building the ultimate defense system, or are we creating weapons that could spiral out of human control? Let me know in the comments below.